What's going on, people? Welcome back to Sinclair TV. Back again tonight. It's a transfer show, and I've got Louise from me, and I've got Paul. Good evening to you guys.
All right, John, how's it going?
I'm great, and how's you? You good?
Not too bad, not too bad. Thank you.
And how's Louise?
All good, thank you. All good.
Champion stuff. Before we go on to the breaking news as well, thank you very much to Paul as well for mentioning it, and Louise, of course. If you like the video, like what you see, then please give it a like and subscribe. And if you'd like to become a member, it is just 99p as well. And super chat's so open as well. Hi to Gula Gathering. That's about Harvey Barnes, coming to him later on. And if you'd like to become a member, there's a link to it as well. And hi to Chairs. Remember to keep comments respectfully. Not all caps duplicates. No discussing or promoting other channels unless given permission by me. Allow mods to mod while you enjoy the show. Thank you. Chairs says super chat is open. Hi to Chairs. And hi to everyone in the chat as well. Right, got some breaking news. Now, according to reports from Jacob Steinberg, that Newcastle United are closing in on a £30 million move to sign Tino Livramento from Southampton. So, Paul, I'm going to start with you, mate. And how good a signing could this one be? Because I'm quite excited about the signing, you know.
Mate, I tell you what a signing this would be. What a signing. I know he had his injury and stuff, but that first season he had at Southampton, wow, like it was a great debut season for him. I know he had the injury and some people were a bit worried about that. I've seen some people a bit nervous about the 30 million price tag, but this guy's young, and if he has a future, and look at how he's done with some of our younger players, man, wow, this guy is serious business. Like 30 million, I think this would be a Joe Linton thing when we're laughing about the price tag, because Southampton obviously relegated, they need funds to fund other players, so I see this as a brilliant move. I know all the Aston Villa fans are giving me stick for their new signing just now. Well, pretty much guaranteed new signing. But I see this one as better than Diaby. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, this guy's got a market value around 20 million quid. Southampton always wanted more than 20 million quid. Chelsea's got first refusal on the guy. And he will be, I think he's going to be coming for Kieran Trippier, in my opinion. But he'd be a fantastic signing, Louise.
Great. I was going to ask actually about Ashby and whether we think it'll mean that Ashby goes out on loan potentially, because there's a crowd of players there who could play in that position. He may well be, the successor, if you like, to Trips, because he is so young. I am a bit worried about his injury, which meant that he didn't play for most of the last year, really. But interestingly, he did play England under-21 with Anthony Gordon at some point, so they at least know each other and have a bit of a relationship there. So I think absolutely, I totally trust what they're doing. So I go, a bit scared about the injuries, but totally trust them. They will know what they're doing, and they will make sure that he is fit and manages his injury risk. I have no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Go on, Louise. Go on.
And it's just come up from nowhere, which makes me think it's real, because these ones, they come up and they're really, really fast. At least that's how it seems to us. We never know they're coming, and then all of a sudden it's almost a done deal.
100%. With Livramento, he is very attacking minded. So attacking, he has occasionally plays a winger for the development side. So he plays right back, he can play wing back, and he is a fantastic acquisition if you get the guy. And he's a young player, 20 years old, I think he is. Yeah. And he's got years ahead in the game. Paul.
Exactly. Like I was saying, it's just another. We talked about this last week, but it's just another project signing, another, Dan Ashworth, definitely, that mold of player we're looking at. We're not, again, when we got taken over, Sky Sports having a fun, as we said before. Oh, Newcastle are going to sign Mbappe and Neymar and blah, blah, blah. No, we're looking at young, upcoming players who are going to be the next big names. That's, that was his ethos at, where he was before at Brighton. And this is his ethos. He's come here. We're looking at young players like like this guy, who 5 years down the line, he's in the first team on the first sort of team sheet that we're sending out there. This is the plan.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the thing is, right, I mean, what you said there, you're absolutely spot on there, Paul, because when we got a takeover, right, everyone's saying, sign Neymar, sign Mbappe, all those names sort of thing. These people know to turn it in. They're tapped, absolutely tapped. Some of our fan base, man, do apologise. But at the end of the day, Louise, I mean, what Paul said, after young, hungry players, which is going to give us the years ahead, it's going to be with us in the next 5, 6, 7 years. This guy will fit in under Eddie Howe.
Totally, absolutely.
And I mean, Southampton are selling club. They need to get rid. They need the money after the relegation. And yeah, what can I say? I mean, where's he going to fit in? Is he going to take over Kieran Trippier's place, or do you think he's going to have to be cover? Because I'm hearing Alan said that he thinks, if I can find this comment, he thinks that Trippier can play on the left, he suppose. I mean, I'm not sure about how he can play left back, but
yeah,
if he comes in, cool.
Yeah, so I've said that I think it'll push Ashby out on loan.
Yeah, I think so. I know he can be. I know he has sometimes been on the left wing, which is another option here and there. But you got to think that his natural position is really, where Trippier plays. So he would be that, understudy there, who would probably play in more of the cup games and all those sort of things, and maybe again, because we're playing so many competitions, maybe some league games here and there to see how he gets on. But yeah, like you say, Ashby, that does mean, are you willing to be a third choice really, or do you really want to go out on loan and get some more experience? I mean, this is what the West Ham fans were saying when we signed him. They were like, we like him, but we're not sure if he's, we're not sure if he's ready yet. We're not sure if he's going to come straight into your first team. So, maybe there's a bit more development for Ashby to go before he's pushing for that second or first, position.
Yeah.
I love the competition.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah.
Certainly is. We need to beef up the squad, because our squad last season wasn't strong, but this time, wow, it looks like we have a strong bench as well. And hi to Ian, hi to you, mate. Yeah, just jumping in a quick chat to apologise. I couldn't come with you guys tonight. Got to talk about work, resume your plans. Listen, Ian, you come back when you can, mate. There's absolutely no problems at all whatsoever, mate. But thanks for letting me know at an early advantage. Hi to Bob. I hope you're fine. The only thing we spend all that money is on him. That's you need a natural left back. Just seems a lot of money for a backup. Do you agree with that, Paul? I mean, is he a lot of money for a backup?
I mean, but it's one of those where, again, it's this tax of you are paying for what you might be. So again, I know 30 million seems like a lot, but I know it's not the same player. I know he's a different position. I think people get annoyed, but Declan Rice just went for 110 odd million. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where Arsenal have signed him because he's had some good seasons, but also Arsenal are signing him for potential for the future of Declan Rice. And I've just, I agree with everything that people on TalkSport say. But I heard some really nice things coming about Livramento. I mean, I just saw that, I've forgotten his name anyway. Their ex-player likened this guy to Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
Whoever that was that a Bond? I don't know if it was Bond or if it was, no, it's Theo Walcott. Said that, when he saw him, he likened him to Gareth Bale. It's not a bad link there, really.
Agree. Ready, going to talk about Harvey Barnes in a bit, mate. So just keep your eyes peeled on that one, my guy. And Louise, I mean, 30 million quid, that's a lot of money for a backup right back.
I agree with everything Paul said. My only concern is that it would be a hell of a lot of money for somebody whose knees aren't going to be fit in 5 years' time. In 5 years' time, if he's playing for England and on our on our team sheet every week, we will all be saying, "Wow, amazing! How will his knees hold up?" But they will know if we sign him. They will know how his knees are going to hold up. So then I'll trust.
Yeah. I mean, my opinion on Livramento, I think it'll be a cracking signing. 30 million quid is an investable player for the future, in my opinion. I think he'll fit in well, especially a right back. He's a bomb and left back. Right back plays up and down the pitch. like Paul mentioned, it could be our version of Gareth Bale. We don't want to put pressure on the kid too much. Just want to play his natural game. So for me, it's a yes for me. What about you two guys?
100%, yeah.
90%, 90%, because I'm worried about his knees.
Blessed. Yeah. And I've got I like coffee as well. Thanks for the comment yesterday, saying I'm always positive. Thank you very much indeed, Coffee. And you know what? He loves to wind. He loves to have banter, this guy, and we miss that. We do miss him. And yeah, so 100% from me. And Harvey Barnes think he'll score 40, 50 goals, including Champions League. Well, I hope you're right, mate. I can't see it, but I hope you're correct. 43 people watching the chat. Thank you very much indeed, guys. Make sure you do smash a like. Also, subscribe if you are new to the channel. Right, the next one I'll talk about, guys, is Allan Saint-Maximin. I mean, I know I've been bored chatting about this guy for the last few days, but finally, as much as I'm going to miss him, but he's having a medical at Al-Ahli in the Saudi League. And Fabrizio Romano says it's going to be 30 million euros. That's going to be around 23 million quid. And he's having a medical over there. And Louis, I've got to start with you. I mean, are you going to miss Allan Saint-Maximin? Number one. Secondly, is he a victim of FFP?
Am I going to miss him? Yes. I mean, he's such a one-off. He's such a talent, but for me, he's a flawed talent. He's that kind of genius that just hasn't got it right as a team player. That doesn't mean I'm not grateful for what he's done for us in the past, when he was basically the only one, keeping us alive. He does have precocious talent, but I don't know if he had the discipline that Eddie Howe seeks. And although they've both, Eddie Howe certainly said nice things about him this week and wished him well, I just don't see him as being quite an Eddie Howe player. So I'm not entirely surprised. Huge potential, but I think we're getting to the point where that potential is not going to be fulfilled. And I think the fact that few people have come in for him possibly indicates that. So for me, I say thank you. I absolutely wish him well. I'll continue to look out for him. Is he a victim? No, I don't think he's a victim of that. I think he's a victim of not quite fitting into Eddie's style.
I mean, it could be anything. It could be could be a fit of FFP because he's a sellable asset. It could be doesn't fit into Eddie's style of play, like Louise has said, or it could be fancying a new challenge. Paul, what's your take on him?
Yeah, I mean, Maxi is he's a maverick, isn't he? That's that plain, the usual sort of maverick player. What he did for us in some of the dark days, he made it watchable. He did when it was COVID football. My God, were we boring to watch? And it was just miserable times in the world. But at least Maxi got you off your seat here and there. So it was, and he cares about the club. He really does. Like I speak from knowing that for real. Like, I know for a fact that Maxi does love the club and he's gutted to be leaving. That is true. But then Eddie kind of said it himself that, with FFP and, this does kind of, when you figure out like all of the logistics of what this can kind of do, it frees up roughly 80, 90 million when we can kind of play around with that. When you do all the figures and stats and how FFP is figured out. So it's not a bad move. And even Eddie admitted that the one player that's been generating interest, when you think about the other players behind him, it has been Maxi. No one's no offense to these people, but no one's contacting us going, mate, sell us Fraser. How much can we get for Ryan Fraser? No one's ringing us about him. There's not. They're not ringing us about him. They're ringing us about, maybe not many people are, but Maxi is just one of those players. And people moaning about the price. Mahrez went for about 30 million in that ballpark. So I know people are getting a bit like, how could Newcastle do this, sell him for so little, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, Mahrez had a pretty stellar career, and he's gone for 30. Do you know what I mean? It's not, just because these clubs have big money. Yeah, they're not just going to spend it no matter what.
Mm-hmm. The only thing is, he's got to be worth probably, I think 40 million would have been all right. We would have been quite lucky to get that. But at the end of the day, right, I mean, it looks like you know, he wanted to go to Saudi. I mean, he could have gone to Napoli, to be honest with you. Yeah. Then he could have got Kvaratskhelia as a part exchange as well. However, it just wasn't to be. And never know. They might say, we take a Kvaratskhelia, he got very sense part of the deal. And the Napoli must have told say, get lost, we'll keep it in. So off to Saudi he goes. They come back to ASM in a bit. Genuine question from Jez. I know it goes too thin, but does anyone think we're stronger than most people think? Gordon will come good and can play in the midfield. Anderson will play a bigger role for us. You know what it is, Jez? In my opinion, I think Andy will have a huge part to play this season. This guy's going to be our secret weapon this season, in my book. And Anderson, for me, I think he's going to be a part as well. He cannot be leaving Newcastle at all whatsoever. I love Elliot Anderson. He's going to come absolutely brilliant. He could be our Phil Foden, Louise.
I think that's true. I think what we've got is really exciting. But then you look at the kids, the ones that are, you know, who've been in the first team recently, and you just think, wow, you know, the layers we're building here. So I absolutely think we are building a force to be reckoned with for the years to come, the absolute years to come. It's amazing to see. I want to do a bit of a shout out to Ndweni, who was from my rival school. So he was a cussy, and I went to Rutherford, and you know, we don't get on. But he got out there, and it's just fantastic to see. So I am really excited about what's to come.
Absolutely. Big up to Dino. Dino! I would like to see Tonali take free kicks in the next few games to see how he does it. Tonali for Italy. Dean, I watch Italian football. I love Serie A. This guy is absolutely fantastic, and he was certainly not going to let us down. Please trust me for that. Guess what? Go in the house, people. You're going to laugh at him. Allan Saint-Maximin. Big up, Allan. I will miss Newcastle United, all the fans, especially me. Thank you for all your love and support. Well, Allan, I wish you all the best in the world in Saudi. But word of advice, if it was my agent, I would have offered you to go to Napoli instead of Saudi. But there you go. That's his first goal, 29, 13 goals last season. So Harvey, we'll go to him in a bit. I agree with Louise. I like ASM, but the lack of interest from other clubs speaks for itself. Just sums it up, doesn't it, Paul?
Yeah, that is sad, isn't it? But it is true. I mean, someone put the stats up on Twitter today, I think, and it was a bit, you know, it was worse than I remember. You know, not being funny, like how many goals he had actually scored, and assists was not too bad, but his best season was like 5 goals, which isn't, you know, again, we've always said about lack of end product, and again, his injury record was always a shambles. It was always 2 games or whatever. I mean, it was after, you know, Man City game was really good, and then, you know, and then he was at the Wolves game after that when he got injured, but that was kind of ref's fault as well, because we should have had the offside, which would never have made him do the run. But still, it's like you get 2-3 really good games out of Maxi. There's that game we're talking, you know, like the Brighton game where he gets kicked around and just can't be bothered and just doesn't really put the effort in. So he gets hooked off for that, and then he gets injured again, and he seems to be in France all the time, and in a tank, and you know, posting things where he's going to be better than ever and the best thing ever, and yeah, it's kind of been a bit of a sad pattern with Maxi. It's sad, like I said, he genuinely loved Newcastle, like he felt very accepted and very loved by the fans, and it's one of those. We're going to see this more, you know, again 5 years down the line or whatever. We're probably going to be losing people like, and it's mad to say this, but people like Bruno maybe or whatever. Like you're losing players who maybe better players or whatever. And again, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to see that. But again, Newcastle is going to be progressing. So one day you're going to lose these like players that we already love now.
Absolutely. Go on, Louise.
So I was just going to say, so I hope he gets what he wants out of Saudi. Whether that's, you know, good payday and he'll be able to do other things with his life, or if he really wants the football, then I really hope he buckles down and trains and brings more discipline. And I wish him all the very best. Really do. And thank you.
Well said, Louise. Well said. Well said. And, you know, we're going to miss him as well. And listen, it's one of those things, you know. I mean, our back Eddie, what he decides to do. And if you make that decision, cool. But Harvey Barnes, we're going to come on to in a bit. And Don't worry about that. For me, ASN did be missing, whether he's injured, not really. He carries too many injuries. That's another thing. Alan, you're right. He did carry too much injuries, yeah. And he missed him part of the season too. And West End of their class, that's some beat bonds on. Hi, the beats. I hope you're good. I was telling you, Louise, too. I know it's too soon to say from one game, but Tonali looked to be an even crisper pass of the ball than Bruno. That Rangers game was a joy. Can't wait to see them play together, no matter who comes in. Cheers. We're going to talk about that later on as well. So hold your thought for that. Hi to Would-Be. I hope you're fine. Thank you for subscribing as well. Exciting Toon times. My folks will be on Gordon Tonali, especially in the next few months. And I've got Ufa as well, if I pronounce his name correct. Ufa Carlson, thank you so much for becoming a member. And I really appreciate that as well. You'll now be in the hat as well in September to win £50 worth of e-vouchers. So you can spend at the club shop if you want to. And even to Anthony, I hope you're great and hope you had a good time in Glasgow if you went to Glasgow. And ASM, thank you. Goodbye. Next, I don't buy the claims by some fans that he saved Newcastle and is a club legend. First of all, in my opinion, he's not a club legend. Yeah, he's not going to be alongside Shearer or Jackie Milburn or Hughie Gallagher or Malcolm McDonald. Yeah, or Chris Waddle or Peter Beardsley and the names. Yeah, but he will not be a legend in my book. I'm afraid. Is he a legend, Paul? I don't think he is. Do you?
He's not. I mean, legend is a big word. He will be. It'd be that what I like to call, and we will call him that. He's a cult hero. He's a cult hero of Newcastle. He's a, he's a Demba Ba. He's a Papa Cisse. He's a,
Gutierrez.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of those players that we'll always look back on and it'll be like, God, remember how good he was? Or Ben Arthur, again, like Ben Arthur, when he had it. Again, those two players are quite similar in some fashions where they're on and off and hot and cold and, getting injured a lot or, not coming back as fit as they maybe should be. But yeah, I'd say Maxi's more of a cult hero. He made Newcastle watchable in the times of when we really weren't, really good fun to watch. But yeah, he's not. No, I love Maxi and thank you for everything you've done for us, chap. But legend, that's a bit strong.
Yeah, fair enough. And Louise, you can't call him a legend, surely not. What are you telling us?
No, I put him in the same bracket as we just talked about. Somebody who has a special place in our heart, but not a legend.
Exactly. I'll go on with that. And Would-Be, I have nothing personally against Maxi. I mean, his kid didn't still be grand kids, but I know the meaning, mate. I know the meaning. And you know what? At the end of the day, sort of thing, like, we've got Richard Moore the best as well. And Alan, and like Louise, I used to play football games in Rutherford School. I was playing for Blakelaw School many years ago.
Blakelaw? Yeah. Blakelaw? We're gonna have to have words, Alan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not good.
Wow. Unbelievable. You know what? It's going back years and years and years ago, man. But Alan is a fantastic guy on the channel. Fantastic guy. You want to talk about 70s football? He is your guy. He loves Malcolm. He loves John Tudor. He loves the players in the 70s as well. And hi to Sinclair TV. Big up to you, mate. I hope you're great. We're playing news on Monday. And I'm doing a record show on Saturday as well with Joe O'Rourke as well. So that'll be recorded as well. And just as chatting to Would-Be, some players do need to be treated special. KK did it with Ginola, Bobby did it with Robert, and Bergie did it with Cantona. But I remember in most parts of Maxi agreed with Mark, the cult hero. And Ginola, the best French player we ever had. I tell you, he's up there in his 2 seasons. John, you missed out Super Mac legend. Yeah, he's up there with the best as well, mate. 100%. I'm not even going to argue with you on that one at all, Alan, whatsoever. 5 seasons at Newcastle. Brilliant. Hope you enjoyed the Rangers game, John. Very jealous that you got to witness another beauty Miggy goal. Listen, I love Miggy, and Foxy knows that. I mean, if he plays well, I'll salute him. And if he's quiet, I have to say it. But I love Miggy, and Foxy knows it. Yeah, no hard feelings, and he knows that. We do love Foxy, by the way. We'll have you on Monday. I'm going to watch because it's on Sky Sports. Yeah, that's a 12 o'clock kickoff. I'll be in bed then.
Midnight, so, yeah.
I'm gonna have to have a a kip during the day there. He's like, don't really want to miss that game, really. And I've got Ufa. First of all, he's become a member. And thank you very much for your donation, kind donation, mate. I really appreciate that, Ufa. Thank you very much indeed. Newcastle United fan in Westfields of Iceland, far from the capital, just like Newcastle. Ufa, if you want to come on my show for the Global Mag show, you are always welcome to, mate. And we fix you up and you can talk to us about your time being a Toon fan as well. And the guys to spend a year there, most beautiful country I've seen. Wondering if the majority of Toon fans over 35 were happy to see him go and the younger crowd wanted him to stay. That's a good question, Louise.
So being under 35, Paul, don't laugh. Okay, all right, then I'm a bit over 35. I was thinking the younger ones didn't see those legends that we've just talked about. So bless them. That was their legend that they had, because they didn't get to see what we saw, in the past. Gaza. I actually wondered whether Gaza, because Gaza wasn't mentioned in that list there, would we put Gaza as more of a maxi, or would we put him in legend?
Well, Gaza, I tell you what, Gaza will be a legend. I know it's been there for a short time, but in my eyes, I think he's still a legend because of the name. But
he's a legend of football, isn't he?
A legend of football.
But not with us.
I don't know if he's a Newcastle legend.
Agreed. Agreed.
Very, very, very. Yeah, it'll be very close. But I say a lot of people saying he's Newcastle legend, but he's a football legend, no question about that. Is he Newcastle legend? You got to, haven't you? You really got to. I'm actually sad Maxi is gone. Great skill, good player, but preferred Barnes, better output as well. I like Barnes. And just chatting to Woodby Farmer again, keep chatting to each other. It's cool. I may not be a legend, but JS definitely is. That's an ASM. Thank you very much indeed. I love you for that. I tell you what, if he wants to come on my show, he's welcome to. I can remember I did with a show a couple of years ago on Paul's channel. They had Joe Linton on as well. He was funny. He was brilliant. I'm surprised it was on Sky Sports on Sunday. I think we could finish top 8 this season. I think Newcastle finished 7th. What are we saying about Villa's transfer? Because we are cooking. You're cooking. You certainly are. Musa Diaby, man. Wow. What a signing. What a signing. And then Paul Torres as well. Absolutely brilliant. What a signing. Gas is a legend. He wasn't with us long enough to claim him yet. I say he's a legend, 100%. Bear in mind, we had Robert and Jin, same team. Exactly. Right, so question is, if it's good marks out of 10, guys, how many marks out of 10 would you give ASM his 4-year stay? I'll start with you, Paul.
Oh, geez, out of 10. Wow. Well, for the pure fact of there were so many aspects to him. The Twitter stuff was always good. How he was with fans, how he was with me personally. I can't thank him enough for some of the things he's done for me as a fan. He got to know some of the regular fans that went into a lot of games, and he was always very friendly and very warming to myself in particular with certain things. Yeah. So as a player, I think we've got to be fair. I mean, 10's obviously like the best ever. 7.
Okay, cool.
Fair.
Cool. And Louise, 4-year stay, ASM, marks out of 10.
So on his day, 8, sometimes even an 8.5. When it wasn't his day, 6, 5.
I'm going to say borderline 7. And I will say borderline 7 because at times, he'd be a world beater, but other times he's just he's just not up to it as well. That game against Man United, I said it before, when he actually miskicked the ball in the second half against Van Bissaka, and he took an extra touch and he just didn't catch it. He totally messed it up. And Eddie thinks, you know what, he's done at Newcastle. He is done. But you know what, he loves him, but he just doesn't think he's going to fit in. So for me, 7 out of 10 for ASM. So I'm going to go through these comments as well. Hi to Alan again. Did you rate Carl Darlow against Rangers? What he did was shocking. Seriously. I know it's really friendly. Bruno wasn't ready for that. You know what I mean? However, that was poor. And I tell you what, he could be on his way. And we talked to him in a bit. And WBF, you right, Orders fans have seen more and better players and can compare to the current players. You know what it is? Like, I mean, we know we seen it all over the years, and we can qualify speak about it over the years. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, right? I mean, we just speak the truth. We speak the truth and we call it. John, get him back on your show. Do you know what, Alan? I'm going to speak to Steve Reith about that and see what he say about that. I'm sure it'll happen. 7 from ASM, 7 maybe 8 from Alan. Here's to never losing out on one of his own Gaza, Carrick, and Yon Shearer. And he goes, why did you have to take Barnes? We wanted him. Well, you got Musa Diaby, mate. You got Musa Diaby. Simple as that. And he's a good player. You're right, Bella TV. You have Diaby, quality signing. Got to be honest, I wanted him at the Toon. Again, it's like Paqueta, right? It was the fans' choice, not the owner's choice. Yeah, it's as simple as that, you know. But we are fiercer for you. Wow. You want fiercer? I'll just drive in there. I'll just pay the Scottish money driving there as well. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Right. Let's go on to a definitely going to come to Newcastle. Harvey Barnes. He's having a medical today. A deal up to £38 million for Leicester City. Got relegated. I think, Louise, that's a cracking signing, a cracking replacement. Would you say people are saying that he's not as good as ASM? But if you look at his record speaks for itself. 13 goals last season, 3 assists. The previous season, 6 goals, 10 assists. So if you tally it up over 2 seasons, he's got more goals and assists than ASM.
So he's maybe more stable, more predictable, less of a genius, more reliable. So maybe not the talent, but more of the discipline, and that leads to the end product that we haven't been getting. So I am pleased with it. I think he needs to get out to America and join the squad so that he gets some time with them. So yeah, I'd like to see that. Yeah.
I think 25 years old, he's got a market value of 32 million quid. I said about a month ago that maybe 5 weeks ago, I always said he's worth a punt. Paul, I've said to him, he's worth a punt, and here he is.
Great player, absolutely. I mean, he played against us, and I remember he did like a thing in midfield in the game against us, and made some of our midfielders look like they weren't even there. Like he's a skillful player, and I've been surprised at some of, well, not always surprised with some of our fans. I love our fans, but there are a dark corner of our fans that are very strange people, acting like we've already been relegated signing this guy. I know there's love for Maxi, brilliant. I love Maxi, but Harvey Barnes is, he's a young player who's hungry. He works hard for a team as well. Like when I've watched Leicester, when he's played against us, he works hard. Like he tracks back, even though he does a lot of stuff forward. But he's that mold of, like, I can just see him in an Eddie Howe side. Like I can see the thinking behind that signing, like what Eddie Howe wants. And some of like his crossing, ASM was not known for his crossing, really. And Barnes is someone who gets the ball in like a lot. He looks for crosses as well, and he scores some. Some of those goals he scored are absolutely phenomenal. Some of those, absolutely, yardies are just brilliant from him, really. So I think it's a fantastic signing. I know some people are a bit down on it. I really don't understand why people are so down on it. I think it's going to be a really positive, like Gordon almost. I think he's going to, maybe he might take a little while to get used to our style, possibly, because Leicester quite famously, with Brendan Rodgers, a lot of their team were quite upset with how unfit they felt under his training, and I think he may have a bit of a shock coming under Howe. And I agree with Louise that I think it looks like he's done his media stuff today by some of the pictures I've seen. So I think the idea would probably to be like announce him as soon as possible and get him on the next flight over. Really, probably won't feature in 2 of the games maybe, but if we have like a 3rd game or whatever, maybe he gets a little bit of minutes in there.
Yeah,
but also Sorry, John, I did it. I interrupted. I'm sorry.
No, you go for it. You go for it.
I was just going to just being on that adventure. You know, that's team building in itself. The more, you know, they're going to America and that they're going to football games there, and they're bonding. And even if he just gets there for that and to hear about how tough training's going to be, then that will do him a lot of good.
Absolutely. I mean, getting people saying, "Oh, you shouldn't buy relegated players." Yeah, they've got some good players there. Spurs did it to Madison. We done it 20-odd years ago to Craig Bellamy. Right? Turned out to be. I thought he was fantastic. And Harvey Barnes, like Eddie said, he will upgrade Harvey into one hell of a player. And I have to agree with you, because Eddie Howe is very good at changing players as well from average players to cracking players.
Wijnaldum did really badly when he got relegated with us and went to Liverpool. What a terrible career he had. What a weird opinion some of these people have.
I know. Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. I mean, if they listen to our guys, experienced guys, wise ahead guys, we win the day. We win the day every single time. I heard Fraser working McDonald's now. Can't get a reserves. Can't get reserves. I love it, man. I heard Fraser could be playing for Birmingham because he's shocking. They're shocking as well. They're welcome to him. I'd just drive anywhere. Hopefully Harvey won't be speaking in tongues and communicating with aliens on Instagram. I like that. I live in Grimsby. I honestly don't think you could play for Grimsby Town because they are, you know what? And also, do you think Barnes will play on Monday or not? I don't think he will.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. And if he did, Eddie wouldn't pull him in anyway. It's no way. And Villa do the recruiting system. That's official. Also working for Newcastle. They tried to hijack Ever Bugger we're linked with. Well. And US tours, quite a smart choice. Newcastle have new US fans. Frank to Miggy. Seems like a down Eels move. Like next season, I'm going to take 2 weeks off in July. I'm going to go abroad next year, and I'm making sure of that. It's as simple as that. And Harvey Barnes, like I said, market value 32 million quid, Louise. 38 million pounds is going to be up to that fee. I think it's going to be a 5-year contract. The question is, where are you going to play him? He'll be on the left. It's got to be on the left-hand side.
Yeah, so I had been a bit worried about Miggy. You know, we've talked about this. I was worried about Miggy. And then I think maybe the fact that he scored means that I was barking up the wrong tree there and he's all right. But still a question. Still a bit of a question. What's everybody else think?
Go on, Paul.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, Miggy is, again, last season he was he had that really amazing streak and it was like, wow, here's the player we really liked. And then he went a bit, it wasn't terrible or anything, I'm not like slagging him off or anything, but last end of the season kind of pitted out a bit for him. And he looked a bit like old Miggy, which was a bit, a bit strange after the confidence he had. But yeah, it's one of those where, when Barnes comes in, left, that's just his natural position is there. So it's kind of one of those things of like, but again, it causes something we want. We want people to be fighting for those places. So, it's one of those things where Wilson reacted to Isaac, when Isaac was pretty much, Wilson was kind of on that weird little stint of games of not scoring and looking a bit off. Isaac started coming in a bit more, and then Wilson just had that, unbelievable streak of goals and just, he was up there with Haaland of like goals per minute and all this crazy stuff. So it's one of those things where it's no bad thing of like having Barnes or Miggy, and having these two like fight for those places. Like, again, like think of the bench we might even have, like the first game against Villa in the Premier League, that bench, looking at the benches we've had before, that's going to be an exciting bench. When you think we could have like Isaac on that bench, we could have Barnes, we could have Miggy on the bench, we could have, all these players that are good players, like to come on and change a game where before, no offense to them, but we had players like, sorry Fraser, I keep picking on you, but, Ryan Fraser to change the game or, I love Matt Ritchie, but again, like these players don't really have the impact we want where, if you're bringing on say Mickey starts a game and he's had a bit of an off game, bringing on someone like Harvey Barnes on 70 minutes, it's a decent swap. It really is.
Yeah.
We're dreaming, aren't we? We are absolutely dreaming, thinking about that.
Me too. I mean, you still need a couple more in, but I'm going to trust the board on that one as well. We definitely need, people say we need a striker, we need a left back and centre back, and then I'm not going to give any ratings at the window so far at the minute, like, you know what I mean? People have given a 9 out of 10 window, nowhere near yet. I'll give my decision at the end of the transfer window. Paul, did you used to work? Did you work as a bartender at the Rusty Nail, Atlanta?
Who, me?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's you, wasn't it?
Are you talking to me or another Paul?
Yeah, no.
Oh, no, I've lived in England my whole life, chap. I'm sorry. I'm a teacher. That's my real job. I work in teaching. Have done for a few years now. And I travel and watch Newcastle all over Britain like a madman from Oxford.
Well, there you go. There's your answer. Let's go. How many more players do you think we need after Barnes, Louise?
Well, I think if we're going to get Livramento, then I think we're there, aren't we? Thereabouts. Maybe some more really young ones or something like that. But I think we're done. I'd be delighted with it. Absolutely. There might be a surprise. There might be one more surprise at the close. But I think maybe the Maxi thing is what freed us up to go for Livramento. Maybe it was known. If the Maxi thing happens, we'll go for Livramento, and that's being tied up hopefully really, really quickly. There may be one more. That's all I would expect. But if that's as much as we do, I will be really, really tough to bits with that. Yeah,
fair enough. And Paul, how much are you going to get?
I think that Livramento will probably be our last permanent sign-in, I assume. I think we might try and be a bit clever with the loan market, kind of see what's out there and do some sort of like loan to buy sort of things, with certain like expectations on what they do for appearances, and be a bit kind of smart about like, if it's not the best player, then we don't have to sign them or whatever. But I think by the looks of it, with what we're trying to play with, and again, we got to think of, I hate saying it, but we got to think of January. Again, another market that we want to be, we might need to be active in or whatever. So I think they have got to play a bit smart and be like, maybe Livramento is the last permanent signing we have, but maybe get 2 or 3 more in loans or whatever, or some young, put up, knowing Ashworth, we might get a few more for like the under 21s or whatever. So it probably won't be the last signing, but it might be the last like big signing that we get. Yeah,
very, very true. We'll see what happens. Probably 1 or 2 more maybes. Cool. If not, we move, I guess. We move. And are you excited to get the season underway? It's going to be a good time, a good game, first game. I think it will be a draw. I tell you what, we need to start really well, but it's going to be tough now. It's going to be really tough. But ask us that in a couple of weeks' time, mate, and I'll give you a definite answer, or even on Monday night as well.
We always win against Villa at St James's. Sorry, Villa TV. I love Villa, but we have a really good record at St James's, chap. I'm sorry to say.
We do. Face can go sit on top of Mike Ashley's fireplace mantle like a gargoyle boy. Okay, Ches. Unfortunately, Villa, I think can win. But having said that, I think we'll win every week. I'm optimistic. That's from Colin. Fizz have a good season. Yeah. Teacher, bartender, cool. Thank you, Ches. And
nice.
Like my guy. Paul, there are teaching jobs around Blake Law School.
Are there? You know what, mate? I tell you what. If I didn't love my job, which I do, I love my job right now, there'd be not a lot stopping me from coming back up north, and it won't be long. I could, sadly, not to get too political here, I actually think that my college, to be careful here, what I say, I don't think my college will be doing my course in like maybe 5 years' time. I really don't. I just see a lot of it going online. Just with where the political kind of atmosphere is going, and how much they're making it tight for money. So who knows? I'd love to come back up north. Not many people, if you don't know my story, I am actually from Newcastle originally. I just don't have the accent, obviously, but I'd love to come back home, because when I come back up, I miss it every time.
Yeah. Well said, mate. Well said. Well said. And one of these days, I mean, it's gonna happen. It will happen for me.
It will.
You just never know. It will happen. Yeah, I was gonna say, just going to the next one before going to Cardalo. Just a quick one, actually. It's just a Lindstrom from Eintracht Frankfurt. We've spoken about him before. I mean, other clubs are after him. Juve wants him as well, and Napoli wants him as well. So we've got competition. And is he a serious target though from Newcastle United, or do we really need him?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Again, it's a player that I like. He played in the World Cup, didn't he? And in thingy for who did he play for? Remind me. But he did get on in the World Cup. I remember because I remember seeing him. Who's he play for? Do you know?
He plays at Eintracht Frankfurt.
Country.
Oh, Denmark.
Denmark. Thank you. It's completely lost my brain. So I remember seeing him on the pitch in the World Cup. It's a funny one, isn't it? I haven't seen too many strong links with him. Again, it's a lot of like talk and a lot of Twitter stuff. Which, again, when there's a lot of talk around certain players, I normally, like Louise said, I normally get a bit like, if there's too much talk about it, it's probably not going to happen. And like you say, is it someone we really need? Another midfielder? We'll want as many signs as possible, but not sure on that one. Not overexcited about it either.
What do you think, Louise? For me, I don't think we really need him.
No.
Don't even.
I think it's noise. I think it's noise.
Yeah, I think it is, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, there's some journalists just trying to drum up interest as well from us because we're the richest honest in the world. But then we say we don't need him. We've got Jacob Murphy, we've got Miggy Almiron, Anthony Gordon can play there, Harvey Barnes can play there. We just don't need him at all whatsoever. But that's not going to be a no-goer. So if he wants to leave Frankfurt or he can stay there, cool. But we're not going to get Lindstrom. There's just no way. So go through the comments as well. Alan, hold that thought. Maybe we're going to come to right now. Darlow, he must score, get rid. And Miggy will score 12, including the right footer. Oh, he does. Oh, he does, man. So, bless. Let's go to the next one. Carl Darlow. It looks like it could be off to Bournemouth for £6 million, Louise. Finally.
Yeah, 9 years. Time to go. There isn't really an opportunity for him. We need to make some money. So with good wishes and thanks, he has to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, at the end of the day, right, he's had some kind of games in the Championship. I can't lie, make some great saves. But at the meantime, he's not going to get in the first team. I think he needs to be gone. Hull City could have signed him, but they couldn't afford him. His wages is an issue. But finally, Bournemouth is going to come in for him, Paul, £6 million, and it could be a 3-year deal. And hopefully, I wish him all the best.
We all did. I mean, he did, like you say, Championship season. I remember that season going to watch Newcastle, and he was really good for us. And he was good in that little stint when he played for Bruce. Like, he had that crazy stat of like having the most saves in the whole of football or something stupid like that. His ratio of like saves and stuff were absolutely crazy. Like, he's always been a very good shot stopper. I think that's one of his big strengths in this game. But the thing we've always said since I remember, when he first started getting into the team, every Newcastle fan, his distribution is awful. I'm sorry to admit, Darlow, and again, it just is. It just never been good. And we're probably going to come on to the Rangers game a little bit when we do. But yeah, that kind of give it another little thing where he's just not for us. I think it's obviously going to be Pope, and then I would say probably Carriff is going to be the number 2 behind him, I would say. And then Gillespie, and Gillespie maybe gets a few Carabao Cups or whatever here and there, which is fine by me.
Yeah, do you know what it is? Like, I mean, Mark Gillespie for me. I mean, how is he going to get in? We can't afford to lose to Barca if Carl Darlow's going to go. But listen, if the Barca does decide to move on, also have first team football, we're going to have Gillespie. Then we need another goalkeeper as well. It's going to come in and make a huge difference. But who's out there? I've got absolutely no idea. I wouldn't want to go for that Chevalier from Lille. The French
Oh,
keeper.
yeah.
I tell you what, that keeper will come in and be a fantastic keeper. And he may have to play number 2, but at this moment in time, if Nipple gets injured, it comes straight in. And this keeper is absolutely brilliant for a young keeper.
Tell you who's a free agent, David De Gea.
Yes, De Gea. De Gea. Well, I don't know what's going to happen. 375k a week. Absolutely no chance of that as well. I just want to come back to Lindstrom very quickly. I just got up his stats as well, right? But I don't think he's going to go anywhere. But his record's brilliant. The final third, he's averaged 1.7 shots on goal, 0.7 key passes, 1.0 dribbles per 90 minutes in the Bundesliga. However, he's a bit untidy when interchanging possession with his teammates based on his pass completion rate, 67.9 in the German top flight, which is okay, but at the end of the day, right, he looks a tidy player. He really, really does. And like I said earlier, I just don't think that move's going to happen anytime soon. And Would-Be Farmer can inform Gordon and the new and improved Joe fill in as he does a striker. I don't want to see Joe Linton play up front again. Anthony Gordon, for me, I think he's be better off on the wing. We could cause so much damage as well because you don't want to take away his skills, you know what I mean? So unless your name is Thierry Henry, I don't want to put emphasis on Anthony at all whatsoever. And there you go. And we covered Cardano. Like I said, I'm going to wish the guy all the best. And it's time for him to move on. Let's talk about the Rangers game. I mean, obviously, you tried to go up there and you got broken down. So I don't know if you saw the highlights. Were you impressed with Newcastle? If you saw the highlights? Because I was there.
Yeah, mate. The car breakdown on the way to Scotland. Obviously, of course it did. Bloody car. It's now in the garage getting fixed. The courtesy car arrived this afternoon, which is good. I'm not insurance company, thank you very much. But yeah, that was a bit of a downer because I would have been there. But yeah, no, paid the $7.99 because it was going to a good cause. Again, people moaning about that. Weird. Going to an absolutely fantastic cause, so don't be weird about that. It's a charity. It's not NUF TV is normally free, but it's going to a charity. Grow up, some of our fans. Again, no offense, I love our fans, but some of them being a bit toddler-like about the price. I thought we were really good. That first half, unbelievable. Some of that football. I mean, Rangers were really. We tried. You know, Eddie Howe, I definitely think said to them, treat this as if we're playing them in the Champions League. You know, treat this as if it is a Newcastle United like first team game because we were. You know, again, like, you know, when it's a testimonial, you never know. Is it going to be a bit of like, you know, if you want to win, you want to score, that's fine. It's Alan McGregor's testimonial, no problem. You know, but no, we were really, and so Rangers, some of the tackles were a bit questionable. They really were. But I thought we were fantastic, both halves. And again, like we were saying earlier, some of these youngsters, Lewis Miley, he's going to be some player, I tell you. He is going to be some player. That pass and everything, just whew. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Louise, I don't know if you watched the game. I think you might have watched the game. I'm sure you did. Give us your breakdown on the game against Rangers.
So I think to compare that to Gateshead, where we did come on and drift about for the first half. The first half in Rangers was entirely different. But what about Tonali? Oh my goodness! How did he just arrive and do what he did? That blew my mind a bit, I have to say. And I love to see the Mileys, both of them. I thought that was amazing. That was special. So sublime. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Loved the 8,000 fans. Minus you, Paul. Loved the fact that they were there. I was in the central station I was telling John, I was in the central station in Newcastle on Tuesday morning, and I was watching all the fans come in with their overnight bags and stuff, and they were getting ready to go, and I was like, oh my God. And I had to go to work, so I couldn't. But I really, really wanted to go AWOL and just get on the train.
Yeah. And you know what it is, right? I was there. I mean, spent 2 days up in Glasgow, and I've done the vlogs as well. MatchDay Vlogs, pre-MatchDay Vlogs I've done. I mean, the fan camps I've lost. Do apologise. Went to the London Tavern as well with all the Rangers fans as well. Even though I'm in green and white, they made us welcome as well. And you know, the Rangers fans also were fantastic. I can't lie. And then, you know, game day, absolutely fantastic. I even gone to the Rangers stadium the day before. I don't know if you saw the clip of it. How did I do it? I don't know. Even Adam Peake couldn't do it. But you know what I mean? So I could have been there for 5 minutes, like did a preview from there. But I thought, out of respect, I just couldn't do it. You know what I mean? So I had a fantastic time. Do check out my clips. It's called The Stadium Atmosphere. It's out there. I've also done the Loudon Taverns there for just under 4 minutes. And also check out the 5 takeaway content I've done as well for just over 6 minutes. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. It's out there. Go and check it out, please. Thank you. I never got to watch Miley in his youth squad. What was his most regular position he used to? Midfield, am I correct? Central mid?
Yeah, central midfield, yeah.
I saw his brother. I went to Hanwell and watched them just towards the end of the season there, and I watched Jamie, not Lewis.
Yeah. Did I add any haggis? It's lovely. Alan, I had haggis before. Absolutely love it. And never had some. I do love haggis, by the way. Let's be real. And I've got to say, thank you for Crookston Hotel for looking after me as well. They were fantastic staff. And also as well, over the period I've seen me as well, I went to the shopping centre as well, Buchanan shopping centre. They were fantastic. A guy called David, he was amazing. Also Thomas, done an interview with Thomas as well, talking about Isak as well. If you saw that, that's out there as well. So I've been really busy as well on my content as well, guys.
Keep it up.
Yeah, keep it up. Keep it up.
I will. And just on that one as well, I've got 7,300 now on that Stadium Atmosphere and 3,400 in the pub atmosphere. So it just goes to show the contents are just getting better and better as well. So yeah, so all it is, right, just Harvey Barnes. Like I said, I think it'll be a fantastic acquisition as well. You got to be happy with that one, guys.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think he improves the squad. And he's a player that's hungry, and I can't wait to see him. Really can't wait to see him in the black and white.
Yeah, absolutely. Thoughts on rather than having the Mileys, Turner, Cook and Anderson taking up senior positions instead of the aging players who's never played too early? Look, end of the day, right, I'm not going to lie. I mean, if you're good enough, what did they say? If you're good enough.
Good enough, you're old enough.
Old enough,
Yeah.
exactly. You're good enough, you're old enough. It's as simple as that. Those 3 lads are in Turner, Cook. I like this. I like the look of this guy.
Yeah.
Took it well against Skid, said, got his feet up. And I tell you what, he's going to be some player, this kid. And we have got to look after the young players right.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't let them go off the tracks or anything. Don't let it go to their heads by putting too much pressure on them and all the rest of it. I don't think Eddie will do that. I think they're in good hands. But I think it's a bit too early for them to be playing yet, apart from the odd game, to get them ready for when. Like, by the time Paul's moved back home, they will be first team regulars, and what a team that's going to be.
100%, 100%. And you know what? I've got faith in the young players. I believe in young players, and they come in, do a job. Look at Sean Longstaff, a big success, yeah. I mean, Shoreline we over years ago, a big success, yeah. But other than that, you know, it's up to them. Eddie will look after them. We've got a good view set up. They're the ones for the future. Simple as that. And the clone lad as well, even to you, mate, Liv Van Mentor will be an excellent signing, can play right back and also cover at the left back as well. So 2 for the price of 1, I think. If he does come, I will not be surprised if he came in and played left back, because Eddie Howe do love the players to be versatile, and that's what he wants for his players. So there you go. Yeah, we're going to wrap on there, guys. We've gone through a lot of players, haven't we, tonight in an hour? That's not too bad at all. So we just kept it flowing, and it was absolutely fun as well. I thought Elliot Anderson had a good game against Rangers. He sure did, Alan. He sure did.
Him and Tonali had like a little thing there as well.
Yeah, I'm talking about Tonali. Go on.
I was just saying, like, him and Tonali had like a little kind of brave length there. It was nice. That little one-time pass that led to the goal was unbelievable. And Anderson did his part as well, and obviously so did Miggy. But wow, like that's something to think about. And Tonali, he's gonna, again, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves. It's only 45 minutes, but he already looks a player. Wow, You know, if he can do anything like that going forward and with more minutes in his legs,
yeah.
Wow. You know, people were nervous about us in the Champions League and thinking like, are we going to be embarrassed? I tell you what, with players like that, I don't think we will be. I don't think we will be embarrassed. People would be scared to come to St. James's Park with players like that, playing like that. Him, look at that. Imagine that. Joe, him and Bruno playing in the first team. Oh, yes, please.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just noticing Chez's comment there, and I think that he's saying they shouldn't be playing regular. They're not necessarily playing regularly. I think that's a really, really spot on comment. I agree.
I'm gonna have to agree with Chez 100% there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, look at players like Fraser. If you look at players like Hayden, it's great. I like Isaac, by the way. I think he's a great guy. And you've got players like Jeff Hendrick and all these players who no longer first team. They should be going and playing football elsewhere.
Yeah.
And they just hold those guys up, which I think is so wrong. It's unfair. So for the sake of their careers, go and move to a different club and just get your football game. Simple as that. Simple as that. So everyone's happy there. Barnes is very underrated. Stats up there with Saka and Rashford. Exactly. Totally agree. Right, we're going to end it there, guys. And first off, so first live show for about a week. And was it a week? No, I did it on Monday, didn't I? With Black and White Banter as well. Great guys. So, guys, did you enjoy coming on again tonight?
It's brilliant as always. Thank you very much, John. Always good.
No
Pleasure.
No problem. Before I let you go away, not going anywhere yet. So, where can we find you on your socials, Paul?
Yeah, if you're desperate to have just Newcastle opinions thrown at you, it's in the back there. It's at Blank Canvas PC.
Yeah, and Louise, we find you on Louise E. 3 Thompson.
Louise 3, yeah. There's three of us. There's a scary thought.
Exactly. We've got a great team as well. Big up to James, by the way. Hope you find me. It's John Villa have Leon Bailey, Buendia, Getting Diami means they have 6 wingers. FFP has to investigate them. Well, I'm not sure. Well, it's a hard one, isn't it, guys? I mean, do you think they have to FF? If you spend too much money, then yeah, absolutely. But we're not going to go over the top on players, guys. Do you know what I mean? But if you spend over 500 million, then you got a problem.
It's such, you're walking on thin ice with it all the time, aren't you? Just,
thanks, Gal.
The rules and the regulations are so strange. I mean, put it this way, Man United broke it apparently a little bit, and they just got a slap on the wrist with a bit of a fine, which won't make any difference in whatsoever. So even if you break it, I mean, what punishment is there, really? Some people were kicked out of Champions League, like Man City and Chelsea, but again, that turned into a I'll pay us this money and then you're back in. Like, I don't know. It seems a bit mad, this whole FFP. I mean, look at what Saudi are doing. They're making a mockery of that whole system, really, to be honest with you.
Crazy, isn't it?
I mean, it's one of those where, does that mean that Saudi's just going to become this ridiculous big, mega league, which it probably, if they just keep letting it happen, it will do. That will be, like obviously a few shows ago, that'll end up being the Super League. I
totally agree. I mean, they're going to make the Premier League look like poor as well when it comes to money as well. Do you know what I mean? Look at Marco Silva. Is it Marco Silva from Fulham, right? I mean, he could be off to Saudi for 40 million quid, and he could be coaching ASM as well. Could you believe it? I mean,
looks like he's going up there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he don't want to play for Fulham ever again. He's made that quite clear. You know what I mean? But how's Fulham fans going to take that? Once you say that, you're done. You're out of the club. Simple as that. But there you go. They got 100 mil for Grealish. That's a Man City, right, like you saw. And got one from Chris. Big up to you, Chris. A big Rangers fan. Quickly here. Great to have yous up the other night, Chris. I mean, as a green and white, you know what? Your fans towards me were absolutely fantastic. And the atmosphere at iBox is fantastic too. So big up to you, Chris. And playing football at Glasgow is absolutely fantastic. It really, really is. And I love Glasgow a lot. And thumbs up to Chris. Right, that's it, guys. We're definitely going to wrap up this time. And I'll be back in the next one. Make sure you smash the like and subscribe. I will be back on the record show with Joe to do the Villa game. and that's for the pre-season friendly. So I'll chat to him on Saturday, and I'm going to drop it in as well. Keep your eyes peeled for that one, and watch what he's doing. And as always, have a fantastic evening, and it's a winner.